In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, I bear testimony.
我们就是圣名做见证。
Before we begin, let's bow our heads and pray in silence.
开始之前，我们来低头默祷。
Amen. I'm very thankful that I have the opportunity to testify today,
所以非常感谢有这个机会做见证，
because truly God's grace in our lives is so abundant that we would never be able to finish speaking about His grace.
因为我知道，神的恩典跟恩赐是无限的，所以我讲不完。
Like Preacher Ye said, that sometimes we testify about very big things in our life, such as a car accident.
像叶强少刚说的，我们有时候会做见证，很大的事，像车祸。
And that is a lot of times a way that God wakes us up in our lives.
所以很多时候，这是神，用这些事情，提醒我们一些事情。
The last time I testified, I actually shared about a car accident that caused me to wake up and to begin in my servitude for God.
所以上次我有做见证，我出车的时候，
Begin my servitude full time for God.
所以，过了这个车祸的时候，我开始，完全服侍神。
But today I would like to share about testimony of how God helped me to find the two places that I lived in Northern California.
所以今天我想来见证，神怎么带领我找2个地方住在北加州那边。
Especially since it's YSE, a lot of us are in the workforce, and this is something very practical that we have to face.
所以尤其在 YSC， 我们很多青年会体验这些困难。
And in this way, in our practical needs, we often can see how God's fingerprints are all over our lives.
所以在我们的需要，我们可以看到神在哪里有同在。
So this begins 2 years ago, almost exactly 2 years ago, around Thanksgiving.
所以这是大概2年前的事情，差不多在这个时间，在感恩节的时候。
At Thanksgiving, I gave my 2 weeks notice at my old job.
所以在感恩节的时候，我跟我的老板说，我2个星期过后要停止工作。
And basically, it was in preparation to begin working for literary ministry.
所以这是因为我要准备开始在文学院 文宣
Yeah.
开始工作。
So I used my Thanksgiving holiday. We had a longer holiday for Thanksgiving to drive up to Northern California to start looking for a place to live.
所以我就用这个感恩节的假日，开车上去北加州找地方住。
Because I would actually begin work for literary ministry within a month's time.
因为我1个月时间以内会开始工作。
My friends in Northern California, also in our church, also helped me a lot. They would search online for me and actually visit places and ask me if I wanted to apply and fax over the information so I could sign if I wanted to.
所以在北加州，很多朋友和弟兄姐妹有帮我找房子。看到房子的时候，他们会发传真给我，要不要申请这个房子。
But the places were going really fast at that time, and I couldn't find something suitable before somebody took it up.
所以在这时间，很多房子都很快就卖完，所以很难找地方。
My sister and my brother-in-law helped me a lot during this time to help me research when I was busy trying to prepare for the move.
所以我姐姐和姐夫有帮我找地方。
妹妹。
我妹妹跟她先生有帮忙我找地方。
And so when we drove up for Thanksgiving, we had a list of places to basically check out.
所以我感恩节开上去的时候，我们已经有写下来我们要去看哪些地方。
And every day we went and visited place after place after place, and they were all very disappointing for me.
所以我们上去的时候，我们每天有看不一样的房子，可是没有一个房子是跟我有满足我们的标准。
Of all the places that we saw, there was only one hope, like one place that I thought may work out.
所以在我们看了那么多房子，我就找到1间房子才满足我们的标准。
It was actually a townhouse that was for lease.
所以我们是找到1间排屋是租的。
And because it was the Thanksgiving holiday, their office was closed, so we couldn't actually visit it. But the posting looked really good online.
因为是感恩节的关系，他们公司是关的，所以我们没办法去看那间房子。可是它上面的内容是看起来是很不错的房子。
And because I thought this was probably the only place I thought would be good, even though it was closed, we went there and looked through the windows and checked it out from outside and from the backyard.
所以我相信，就是只有这个地方是适合我，所以我们就开始去那个房子，那就看那个窗户偷偷看。
And they kept it unlocked. So, and then over the 3 days that I was there, I actually went there 3 times with different people to look at it and then show them, like, doesn't this place look really good?
所以我在北加州的时间的3天，我每一天都去看，每一天都跟不同的人去看。
And basically, my holiday was coming to an end, and there was nothing we could find. So my hope was on this place. So I took the Monday following Thanksgiving off, so that I could stay and basically get an appointment to view it. And yeah, sorry.
所以对我来说，只有这个地方适合我。所以还有我感恩节的假日已经快结束，所以我是希望赶快买下来这个房子。
I was basically ready to put down the deposit immediately and sign the lease the day of, if it worked out, because I wouldn't have time to go back up again, and I just wanted to get this kind of settled.
所以我本来打算马上回款，所以把这个房子的payment 放下去。
And so on the Monday, when the office opened and I called them, they were able to meet me to show me the place.
所以在礼拜一的时候，我打电话给他们那个公司说，他可以带我去看房子。
I was really excited, and a church sister went with me to the viewing.
所以我非常高兴，还有一个教会的姐妹有陪我去看这间房子。
We got there a little bit earlier and sat in the car, and right at the moment of our appointment, a man drove into the community and parked his car and got out of his car.
所以我们有约时间，可是我们有提早到。所以我跟这个姐妹在车上稍微等一下，然后有个车就停在我旁边。
And so immediately, the time was appointment was here, so we went out and approached him ourselves and said, "Oh, are you the leasing agent?"
所以我们就跑去问这个先生，他是不是那个租赁代理？
And he said, "No, I'm not, but I live in this community." He's a resident there.
他说我不是，可是我是住这边的人。
And so we just chatted, and I told him that I was interested in one of the townhouse units.
所以我们就聊聊天，还有就跟他说我对这个房子有兴趣。
And he said, "Oh, do you know the issues? Did they tell you the issues about that townhouse?"
所以他就问我说，他没有告诉你这个房子的问题吗？
And I said, "No, I haven't seen anything except what's online."
所以我就说我什么都没听说，我就看到网上说的。
He said, "Oh, I just want you to have a heads up and know that the woman who lives adjoining to it, because the townhouse shares a wall, she has very erratic behavior and she hallucinates."
所以那个先生就跟我讲说，我只想让你知道，住这隔壁的房东，就是房租是有问题，他有时候会幻觉。
Yeah, and so in early hours of the morning, random times she will just start banging on the walls.
所以在凌晨的时候，他会随便敲墙壁。
And so the person on the other side of her, who also shares another wall with her, she is trying to serve her with court papers.
所以，住他隔壁的邻居想告这个女人。
And the owner of the unit I was interested in, he has moved out long before. He doesn't live in there because of it, and he's trying to sue the HOA right now.
所以之前的房东也搬走了，所以他现在也想告这个管理公司。
And the HOA is trying to basically keep her from harassing the other residents.
所以这管理公司是希望这个女人不要打扰别人。
Because she hallucinates, she thinks other people are banging on her wall, so she will go out and yell at them.
因为她在幻觉，她会觉得别人在敲她墙壁，所以她会出去骂人。
So when I heard this, I was, of course, really surprised.
所以我听到这个时候，我非常吓一跳。
And I was immediately very thankful to God that I didn't just enter into this situation with no clue.
所以我非常感谢神，我不是无知的，搬去这个房子。
And I would have been caught in the middle of this this whole situation and with no way to control or get myself out of it unless I moved.
所以如果我搬去这个房子的话，我会在一个
I would be caught in this situation and wouldn't be able to do anything to get out of it unless I moved away.
所以我会碰到很困难的状况，还有我就不能搬走。
So I really thank God that He intervened at this moment because He knew that I had my heart set on this townhouse.
所以非常感谢神，他有介入，因为他知道我非常想搬到这个房子里面。
From what I or any person or my 3 friends who I brought with me could see, everything was perfect about this place.
所以我跟我去看的朋友，看这个房子的朋友，他们都觉得这个房子完全没有问题。
Some may say, oh, what a coincidence that this resident happened to drive home right at the moment of your appointment.
所以是非常巧的事情，这个邻居会开到你的旁边，在你们约时间的时候。
But I don't believe that it's a coincidence at all.
可是我觉得一点都不巧。
It is very easy for this to have not happened and for the leasing agent to have been on time and for me to never find out about this.
所以我是让这个租赁代理准时到这个房子是非常容易的事情，所以我不觉得是很巧的事情。
I believe that God was guiding because I had been putting the matter of moving into prayer, and the reason I was moving is because of my wanting to serve Him.
所以我相信神在带领我，还有因为我要搬家的原因是为了服侍他，他带领我。
And so after I had finished this chat with this person, the leasing agent arrived.
所以我跟这个先生聊完天之后，这个租赁代理到了。
So I still checked out the place anyway.
所以我还是有看了一下这个房子。
And he didn't say anything about these issues.
还有他没有提到这所有的问题。
I had to directly ask him about it at the end.
所以最后我是直接问他。
And he confirmed that, oh, there are some ongoing issues that we're in the process of resolving.
所以他有说，现在有一些问题我们正在解决。
He wanted me to be at ease and just basically trust that the HOA will take care of things.
可是他希望我不要担心，好就在这个管理公司放心。
But I thank God that basically I was saved from having to deal with something that would have been make my life pretty difficult or miserable after my move.
所以我非常感谢神，我没有碰到很困难的状况。
So the Monday ended and I came back to Southern California.
所以礼拜一以后我就回南加州。
Although God had saved me from a bad living situation, it wasn't like I could see any other option or had an alternative place that I felt I would want to live at.
虽然神救了我从一个不好的状况，我也是不知道要住哪里。
But I had a month to prepare before my move, so I had to take care of a lot of things like selling my furniture and our appliances and packing everything into a U-Haul.
所以虽然我有一个月的时间搬家，可是我还是要做准备，就比如说卖我们的家具还有我们的器具。
Basically by the end of the year, everything was packed and we drove up to NorCal with everything that we own in the truck the week of Christmas.
所以到年底的时候，我们什么东西都打包好，所以我们要准备去北加州。
And so now I was in Northern California and everything is in a truck sitting there and I'm still paying for the truck and I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to find a place.
所以我没有租车，还有我所有的东西都在租车，在这个车上，还有我不太确定我们要去哪里。
I could say that I was not feeling like this was a very ideal situation.
这不是我
很理想。
理想的状况。
I hoped that I could find some place in the 2 weeks that I had before work would start so that I could feel a little bit more settled down and not be living out a suitcase.
所以我是希望我开始工作2个礼拜之前，我可以找到一个地方住，所以我会比较安心。
So we again, same as Thanksgiving, made a lot of appointments and every day we went to check out a lot of listings.
所以像感恩节，我们就约很多时间去看很多地方。
There wasn't anything that I felt very excited about, but I already kind of prepared myself in my heart that I was just planning to put down a deposit for a certain place that I thought was okay.
所以我看的房子，没有满足我的标准，可是我心里有准备去找一个还可以的房子。
The reason why I was so reluctant is because coming from Southern California, I hadn't yet really adjusted or accepted the fact that everything is just so much more expensive, and I would have to pay more for something that would be not as large and older than the places I lived here.
所以我对这个湾区的房地产还是不熟，所以我还是不晓得要买。我买的房子可能会比较旧，也可能会比较小。
But thank God that even though we did our due diligence and every day we tried our best in our search, in the end, the place we found was not out of our own planning or any of the work that we put in.
所以虽然我们很认真，我们后来找到的房子不是因为我们的能力。
What happened is on our way to various appointments, we were just driving on the street and my mom saw a sign with a phone number on it, which she happened to remember, and she told me to call it.
所以我们在过了很多公寓的时候，我们在马路上开车，我妈妈就看到一个招牌上面有个电话号码，她就说：“你打电话吧。”
And this was the only time that I called from any sign, like a phone number on a sign on the street that we saw.
这是第一次我随时打电话到我临时看到的招牌。
And it was a number of a rental agency, and they gave me the number for an available property, which we went to view that day.
所以这个电话号码是一个租房子的公司，他们就给我一个地址，就让我们去看有一间房子。
And I was really happy when I saw that this place had 2 bathrooms.
所以我非常高兴看到这个房子有2个厕所。
Because everything else in the same price range was 1.5 at most bathrooms.
所以我看的房子这个价钱的话都是1.5。
And because this specific within this complex there were 2 apartments available, but one of them had a tenant who lived there for 20 years.
所以一共有2个公寓可以住，可是有一个房东是住了那边20年。
And if I picked that one, because the person had lived there for 20 years, they were going to redo the whole thing before I moved in to update all new appliances, carpet, and put in double-paned windows.
因为那个房东住了20年，他们必须要整理这个房子，所以比如说换新的地毯还有器具。
And I truly believe that the double-paned windows is a special blessing from God because I'm very afraid of cold coming from LA.
所以他们有帮我修窗户，所以我觉得这是一个很大的恩典，因为我很怕冷。
I felt like it was God's special grace to me, knowing that about me.
所以我觉得是神特别给我的恩典。
So I thank God that by New Year's Day we knew where we would be moving into.
所以我非常感谢神，我们还没跨年的时候就会已经搬进去了。
And it turned out after we moved that we realized that the location was really good.
所以我们搬进去了之后，我们就发现这是非常好的地区。
Since this was our first apartment in NorCal, actually it was very ideal in terms of my work and for being close to the freeways so that I could go to Pacifica.
所以因为这是我们第一个公寓在北加州，我们发现就是很方便，因为它靠近那个高速公路，所以我可以去太平洋教会。
And it was very close to my work.
也是很靠近我工作的地方。
Before we had kind of randomly searched because we had no idea of where things really were in relation to each other, and we weren't that familiar with the geography yet.
第一次我们找房子的时候，我们是随便找，因为我们跟地区不熟。
And it turned out to be literally right next to El Camino Real, which is a really long road in NorCal.
所以刚好我们找到房子就在 El Camino Real，就是一个很长的路。
And you can get everything there. Your groceries, there's a post office, there's a car dealer, everything that you need.
所以在这个 El Camino Real 就很方便，因为它那边有买菜的地方、邮局，还有卖车的地方。
So I really thank God. This was how I found my first apartment in Northern California.
所以我非常感谢神，这是我怎么找到我第一个公寓在北加州。
And we lived there for a year, and I was very happy with the price for the space that we got.
还有我在那边住了1年，还有我非常满意那边的价钱。
When I look back, the things that are my most happy memories about that apartment is the fact that I was able to have the youths over on Saturday nights after church, since our living room was a pretty good size.
所以我其中一个最好的感想就是我能够让北加州的青年到我们家。
And I had a futon in the living room for those who wanted to visit from Southern California to sleep over.
所以在客厅里面有一个沙发可以变成床，所以从南加州的客人可以住我家。
But at the end of my first year living at the apartment, basically my lease is up, and in Northern California they don't have rent control like I used to have in West LA.
所以过了1年，我的合约已经要结束，可是不像南加州，他们没有让我知道，我下1年的价钱是要付多少。
The housing market, like the prices of rent, is rising really rapidly in Northern California. So they typically let you sign a lease for 1 year, and at the end of the year, they'll adjust the rent based on the market price.
所以通常在北加州的房地产的话，房子是很快会涨价，所以他们过了1年后，你合约过期的时候，他会做这个价钱调整，再给你看这个价钱，就让你看看要不要签字。
And 1 month before your lease is up, they'll tell you your new rate and see if you want to sign a new contract and continue living there. Otherwise, you have a month to move out.
所以他会给你1个月的时间做决定。过了这个时间，你可以搬出去，或你可以做决定继续住那边。
At the end of 2013, which is last year, the price of the rent went up by $100 a month.
所以在2013年的底，我房租已经增加了100块。
一个月。
1个月100块。
Yeah. So it no longer to me made me feel like this apartment is very worth it.
所以我就觉得住这边是不划算。
But I felt like I didn't have time within a month to find a new place and to move, so I just signed for another year.
可是我觉得1个月的时间是不够的，所以我就直接签这个合约。
But I had heard from a friend that there are certain apartments that have the rent designated by the city, so it's much more stable.
可是有个朋友跟我讲说，有些地方那个市政府是有控制这个租房子的价钱。
The wait lists are very long for them, so it's actually really hard to get in.
所以要住这个公寓要排队，所以很难买到这个房子。
The demand is high because people wouldn't want to leave these type of apartments, and these kind of buildings aren't being built anymore.
所以这公寓的规求是很高，所以很多人不愿意搬出去。还有他们没有再盖这些公寓了。
When calling to just do some research, some places said that they've closed the wait list. You can't even add your name to it now.
所以有些地方说我们不再接受，我们排队结束，所以我们不再接受别的客人。
But Priscilla kind of convinced me, my sister convinced me to just go check out just to see what they're like. So we went to visit 3 of these places.
所以我妹妹 Priscilla 还是推荐我去看这些房子，所以最后我们还是做决定去看这些房子。
And they were very newly built and pretty luxurious apartments, but all of them had a wait list of 2 to 3 years.
所以这些公寓都是很新的，也是很漂亮，可是他们排队要排2到3年。
I basically gave up the idea of moving, and I said, well, let me just put my name down, and maybe in 2 or 3 years, this will be an option.
所以我准备放弃，可是我还是把我的名字写下去。
And I just put this out of my mind because at this time I heard about the opportunity to come to TTP.
所以在这时候我就没有在想这些事情，所以因为我听到有可以去 TTP 的机会。
Things were very busy as I began to study or basically cram for the TTP test.
所以在这个时间我开始读书的时候，我就非常忙。
And I thought that, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to be accepted into the program, but if I am, I will let go of my apartment and put all my things in storage, and then look for a new place when I get back.
所以还不确定我能不能被这个 TTP 录取，所以 如果我被录取的话，我就会放弃这个公寓，
and then put my stuff in storage, and then I'll look for a new place when I come back.
再把我的东西放在库存，在结束那个 TTP 结束，我会再去找地方住。
So I was studying, and it came to be the week before my TTP test.
所以我就不停的读书，就到了考试前1个礼拜，
On the Monday of the week before my test, I got a phone call in the afternoon when I was at work.
所以要我考试的礼拜一，我就收到一个电话，
That day, both of my coworkers happened to not be in the office.
刚好那天我2个同事不在公司，
Because normally I wouldn't answer the phone if they're there to disturb them, and I wouldn't want to disturb them. And also, I usually don't answer if it's a number that I don't have saved.
所以通常他们在的话，我不会接电话。还有，如果我不认识这个电话号码，我也不会接。
But for some random reason, I answered the phone that day.
我不知道为什么，可是那天我就接电话。
It was a manager of one of the lovely apartments I had visited, and she said that a space is available.
所以是，这个公寓的经理，所以他跟我讲说，我们这边有空位。
And I had completely forgotten about this whole matter, so it took me a moment to even figure out what she was talking about.
所以我完全忘了这个事情，所以我大概有花了一点时间，就是说他在讲什么东西。
It was very surprising because it was only 3 months since the time I went and visited and put my name down, and the wait list is supposed to be 2 to 3 years.
我很惊讶，因为我把我名字写下来的时候才过了3个月，可是排队应该是要排2到3年。
She told me that she had called 13 people before me on the list, and none of them had picked up.
所以这个经理跟我讲说，他要打电话给13个人，可是没有一个人接电话。
Therefore, I now had the opportunity to apply if I wanted to.
所以我现在有这个机会申请这个公寓。
So that week, I rushed to complete all the paperwork.
所以我这个礼拜我就决定去签合约。
But in the middle of the week, I had my sermon test for TTP, and I was pretty stressed out about it.
可是在这个礼拜的中间，我要考这个 TTP 的考试。
So I could only pray to God that if you would like me to get this apartment, then let everything go through smoothly. If not, it's okay, because I don't think I should have had this opportunity to apply anyway.
所以我只有一个选择，就是向神祷告说，如果他想要我有这个公寓，就是让他顺利，如果没有的话就没关系。
It was very clear that if God had allowed any of those 13 people to answer the phone that day, I wouldn't have this chance.
所以非常明显，如果神没有让这些13个人接电话，他是要我有这个公寓。
So thank God that He truly guided it. Everything went very smoothly.
所以非常感谢神，他要带领我，他要让所有的都顺利。
Within 4 days of hearing about the apartment being available, before which I had no plans or thought of moving, I had signed the lease.
所以到4天之前还没有听到这个公寓是有空位，他让我知道我会搬到那个公寓里面。
That weekend, I got the keys for the new place, and I also, thankfully, had passed the test and was accepted into TTP.
所以我签了合约以后，我就拿到钥匙号，我也发现我过了这个 TTP 的考试。
I truly thank God because I feel like this apartment was a grace that He gave me to help me to resolve the problem of where I would store everything while I come down here for training.
所以我非常感谢神，他给我这个公寓，所以我可以把我东西放下去。
It is beyond what I imagined or expected.
就是我没有想象会这么好。
The building was completed 2 years ago, and it has its own gym and its own in-unit washer and dryer.
所以这一栋楼，只有
Which is awesome.
这一栋楼才2岁，才2年前才盖好了，所以还有健身房，还有洗衣机跟烘干机。
However, the rent is lower than my first apartment.
还有房租是比我第一个公寓还比较便宜。
Therefore, I can afford to keep paying for that apartment in Northern California while I am down here for training and TTP.
所以我还是可以付得起这个公寓。
So I feel that God is truly merciful and that He prepares for those who are willing to serve Him and draw near to Him.
所以我知道神是非常怜悯的， 很愿意帮助他，愿意服侍他的人。
Of course, the blessings that He gives us is not always material. And if I didn't get this apartment, it would have been okay too. I'm sure He would have provided another way.
神给我们的恩典不一定是能
Material.
能看到或能摸的东西，有时候是所以如果我们拿到这个公寓也 OK。
So, but the thing that it makes me the most joyful about my new place is that it shows God's special care for me at a time of change and uncertainty.
所以我最喜乐就是神有特别关心我，还有我不太确定，还有我在犹豫的时候。
When I am home, I am happy.
我在家我喜乐。
But wherever I am happy as long as I know that God is with me.
可是不管我在哪里，要是我知道神跟我同在，我快乐。
For as long as God allows me to have this apartment, I will thank Him and enjoy it and continue to happily open it up for the youths to come over.
因为神让我有这个公寓，我会继续让这些青年来我家。
But when the time is up, I will be thankful for the time that I had to live there and be okay with the new place that God will help me to find.
时间到的时候，我还是会感谢神有给我这个机会住在这个公寓。
And 2 months after moving into the new apartment, I moved again down here to Southern California.
所以过了2个月以后，我又搬回南加州了。
This moving and packing was very different.
所以这次搬家是不太一样。
It was actually very easy because I only had to fill 1 suitcase.
这次比较容易，因为我有一个行李箱。
And life is very simple now, but it is very joyful.
所以现在我生活非常阳春。
While I was in the process of packing, I did look at my baking supplies and wish I could fit my electric mixer in it.
所以我在整理行李的时候，我有看到我烤东西的用具，
Yeah.
也是希望我能带着。
And I did think about, I wonder if I can bring some craft supplies, so in my downtime I can make some stuff.
所以我想想，就是我能不能带这个 craft
劳作。
劳作。
Okay.
我有时间的时候，可不可以做劳作？
And it's kind of hard for, I think, people in general, or even myself at that time, to imagine how can you be happy if you don't have any of your usual hobbies or the things you'd like to do in your leisure with you.
所以我在想，就是我怎么快乐？如果我不能做我喜欢做的事情。
You think you'll probably be bored.
你可能会想你自己会很无聊。
We don't go out to meet with our friends just to grab a drink or to chat.
你不能跟朋友出去玩或买饮料喝。
But it is true that when you have fewer things, you don't see what you don't have, you see what you do have.
所以你有少的东西的时候，你能看到你有什么东西。
And there is no price that you can put on the peace that you feel every day. Peace. 平安。
所以有平安是没有价值的。
And so this is how this year I have truly experienced that it doesn't matter where in the world you are, as long as God is with you, you can be happy.
所以不管我们在哪里，或我们去哪里，我们最重要就是神跟我们同在，你在你希望你在哪里的地方。
Yeah, so he said it. The key to being content in life is knowing that you are where God wants you to be. And yes, so I encourage everybody to look and open their eyes to His grace that is in our lives every day.
所以我想勉励大家，就是注意神给我们的
恩典。
blessings, to focus on the blessings in our lives.
So actually we live in His grace every day, just like our house is over our head, but so many different aspects. We live in it every day, whether or not we notice.
所以每天我们神有给我们很多恩赐，不管我们知不知道。
May all the glory and praise be unto His name.
所以愿所有的荣耀
So, yeah, and praise.
颂赞归给我们的神。
Amen.
Amen。